Atelier Ray Clark. Ray Clark.
Vicky Grub.
Atelier Ray Clark. Ray Clark.
Sit on this.
Ladies and gentlemen, and everyone in between. Today, you might know today's guest from the interior design show, Interior Design Masters, where her fearless use of colour and bold interiors caught everyone's attention, from bar owner to producer and a handful of other creative adventures. Jessie has followed her passion for interiors and never looked back. She's recently traded one workshop for another, is a true social media whiz and embraces a rainbow in both fabric and life. Ladies and gentlemen, and then everyone in between, please give a warm welcome to the fabulous Jesse Du Preez.
Hello, everyone. Lovely to be here.
Thank you
for having me.
Was that a half decent intro?
Yeah,
That was good.
Yeah, it was
Smashed
fine.
it.
It was
Okay,
fine.
cool.
So, first things, your surname is it's very exotic. It's very fancy. Where is that
Wow.
from?
You would think it's exotic. I get this a lot, but I'm actually from South Africa.
I thought I could.
Yeah, there's a bit
detect
of a twang there. And Du Preez is like Smith.
Oh,
over there.
really?
So we're a dime a dozen in South
Oh,
Africa.
wow, gosh.
But in the UK, exotics, I'll take it.
Wow. So, were you brought up in South Africa?
Yeah, I was born in the South Africa. My whole family's South African, and me, my mum, and my brother moved to the UK in 1996. We got an ancestral visa, and we've been here ever since. But my dad and most of my family still live in South Africa, so I go over there once a year.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, amazing.
I know.
How old were you then when you moved over?
Oh God, I'm having to do some maths now. I was 7.
So,
Yeah, 7. So I was quite young.
You're a bit younger than me.
Yeah, and it was like before the age of like, you know, being able to contact family with mobile phones and
Yeah.
stuff. So everything
How
was
far are we going back here?
90s.
yeah,
Yeah,
90
Yeah.
96.
Right,
So it was like the internet had just obviously come about, but you know, do you remember those air mails? I've still got all the
Like envelopes?
envelopes
Yeah,
that
yeah.
wrapped up into
yeah.
I've still got all the air mails that my dad used to send me as like a way of communicating, because like, you know, abroad calls were so expensive too.
Yeah.
So we would have one a month, and then he would send me airmail.
Oh,
I
that's so
know.
nice. People don't do that anymore. I was actually out meeting a friend last night from Canada, and that's how we used to keep in touch. We
I
used to
know.
write every year for our birthdays, and
know.
it's like, I do miss that bit.
I know, everything's so instant now.
I
isn't
know
it?
it is.
So,
I know. Were you a creative child?
Yeah, I mean, my mum's super creative. My dad is like, he's like an inventor type as well. He works in interiors on like the woodwork side. So he makes
More of
like,
a carpenter.
he's not really a carpenter. He's got like a big scale factory in South Africa that makes like dado rails and blinds and stuff like that. So he's very machine focused in how he like makes his stuff. But he's also a bit of like a bit of an inventor on the other side of stuff. Like at the moment, he's invented this like renewable source of energy for their homes in South Africa. Yeah, he's a bit mad, and I love
don't
him
wanna
for
hear about
it.
this. What do you mean?
I can't tell you too much because I will have to
NDA.
kill you.
NDAs, right, fine.
But no, basically in South Africa, they've got this thing called load shedding, and it basically means that electricity can be turned off for like 8 hours at a time.
Sure.
So my dad was trying to find a way to create energy in his home using the things that he's got around him to source that energy. That's not solely based on solar panel. And he's found a way to do it, and it's in the process of being manufactured. So
Oh, wow.
you might see it at some point in the
Amazing.
UK.
So little inventor, but also interiors based as well, if you think. And so is that where
Yeah.
you got your kind of love for interiors? Like where do you think that came from?
You know, my mum, so when we moved to the UK, my mum was really good at making a home. And I know that sounds like a generic thing to say, but she loved to paint, and she loved to like play with clay and all of those things. So on like Sundays, rather than watching TV, we might paint together, or we might make stuff with clay. So she was always trying to get us to be like, I don't know, inquisitive with our creativeness. And I think that's probably where I got it from. And my mum loves interiors. Like she's done quite a few houses up over the years as well. So I think I've kind of got that from her. But we've got very different styles too, which she's quite like, she would say she's maximalist, but I would say she's minimal with maximal pieces. And I'm way on the other end of the scale. I'm like full blown colour everywhere. So
I've noticed in yours.
Yeah,
really
I know.
quite beautiful.
I love your style.
Yeah,
we're in like I'd say like a living room converted into a workshop space.
that's it. Yeah. So
in a beautiful house in Margate.
oh, thank you so much.
It's nice.
Yeah,
It's really special.
yeah. I moved in with my partner a couple of years ago, and we decided to turn the living room into the workshop because I had a shop on the high street, and I'm sure many upholsterers out there know the rise and climb in, rates and electric bills. I was realizing I was becoming like more of a factory than a creative, and I was like, how do I claw back some of my like creativity? So this was one way of doing it.
I can relate to that. So you like, I have this with my studio. It's like, right, okay, I know how much I'm going to pay in my lease. I know these bills are coming out. And then it's like you're kind of fighting for that all the time. So you're kind of having to always think of the business side. And it does quash that kind of creative side of you.
Because we all kind of got into upholstery because of the love of it, right? It's a hard job. And like when it started being something that I was having to do so vigorously every day, I was like, this is taking a toll on my body and I'm losing the love of the craft now. So I really wanted to like claw that love back, and this was just a way of me trying to like take control again.
Well, it's working.
Thank you.
Tell us, how did you get into upholstery?
Do you know what? It's actually quite a funny story. I was talking to Elizabeth, who does my social media, and she's also a very good friend of mine. And I was telling her, it's actually a bit of a weird story, and it's kind of feels like a bit of a, I don't know, like a full circle moment for me, because my gran passed away. I know this sounds somber, but my gran passed away. And the year after that, I started this like little upcycling business with my friend Chris in London. And we were doing like really, honestly, hack jobs of upholstery. And
is this like before any kind of training or
before any training? But I was so into how things were made. So I was like taking them apart and then putting them back together really badly. And then after that, I'd kind of seen a piece that we had sold to someone, and it was like honestly withered away. And I was like, I'm embarrassed. I need to know how to do this properly. So I signed up for like a leisure class at Shoreditch Design Rooms with Louise.
Oh, yeah.
Shouts out to Louise and Shoreditch Design Rooms.
Honestly, sparked my love for interiors and upholstery.
So you were travelling from Margate up to...
I was actually living in London at the time.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, I was living in Hackney, so it was just around the corner from where I lived. And I did a leisure course there and I absolutely loved it. And then I went back to South Africa and I said to my gramps, I'm doing upholstery now. And he goes, oh, really? He was like, Gran used to do that. And I was like, no way. And there was just like this like weird draw to do upholstery, and whether that I'd heard ages ago that Gran did that, I don't know, but it kind of feels like a nice way to also kind of honor what she did, because she also made us our clothes when we were growing up, and I was always very like inquisitive about her like sewing space. She never taught us how to do it. She taught us to knit, but I feel like,
was she doing it as a career, or was she just doing it as for herself? Or
she did it for people. So I think it was like back in the day where she was, still looking after the home and the kids and stuff like that. But she also did auto upholstery. So she used to redo like people's cars for them and trucks in South Africa. So
Awesome. I had a student over this summer from Zimbabwe.
Oh yeah.
And she's lived there all her life. She doesn't really know any different. That's her entire life is Zimbabwe. And she was saying that over there you literally cannot get an upholstery class.
No.
There's absolutely nothing like that available. Upholstery is very different in
It's
Zimbabwe.
very different over there as well, because I guess it's also they do it, a lot of the crafts out there are done on the cheap as well. So it's like I was telling my auntie and uncle what I would charge, and they're like, absolutely no way.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
What do you mean? Like they thought you were charging too little or too much?
Yeah.
So they can get it done for really cheap over there because labour's obviously cheaper.
Yeah.
And I guess like the skills and the crafts, I don't know, they're just different.
Do you think it's like more of a make, do, and mend situation over there? Because what I've seen, I mean, I don't know, but what I've seen online, it's like very much like dragging sofas out into the garden and like ripping them down and then putting them back together.
Yeah, I do you know what? I don't know enough.
Yeah.
I've never been to an upholstery workshop in South Africa, but I know I think the internet's been like a really wonderful thing for people as well, because I know I've had a lot of people in America where they've not been able to maybe get to a class.
Yeah.
They're using the internet now in order to help them, develop their skills. So I think we're in quite a fortunate time of passing on our skills because it's less face-to-face now and it's more online. But yeah, I was very lucky to be living in London and have that one-on-one training too, because it is invaluable, really. So yeah, I kind of started at Shoreditch Design Rooms, did like 3 leisure courses there. And then I met up with Rachel South because she was around the corner. I spoke to her and I was like, would you take on an apprentice? And she said, the best thing to do is do the AMUSF course. Then I know what your like basis of skills are. And then, I could get you in. So I was like, right, determined. I was like, let me go to the AMUSF, found a few courses. I decided to do it at London Met.
So you went in straight into stage 2 or stage 1? Or?
No, I wanted to start from the beginning. So I did stage 1, and obviously I knew quite a bit already. But also there was something quite valuable to me from learning from different people, because instinctively I knew that there was many ways to do the one thing. And I kind of wanted to know how other people's brains worked when they came to problem solving. Because for me, that's mostly what this job is. It's like you have the skills, but you have to apply them in different ways to every piece of furniture that comes through the door. Yeah. And it's like, I wanted to actually see how other people's brains worked in doing that. And it was really valuable to me to have different teachers.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I think that's a very valuable point you've made. It's really, even now I've been back. Obviously, I've learned a hell of a lot from Ray, but I've also been back.
She's not enough thing. Nothing. She's learned what not to do.
Not at all. And learned from Gareth and Gareth Reed.
Shouts out to Gareth Reed.
Yeah, and I just think you're absolutely right. There's so many different ways to do it. And I think that's one of the scariest things when you first come into upholstery. It's like you think there's only one way, and then you think you're doing it wrong, and then you take a piece apart and you're like, oh my God, this doesn't look like anything I did in my class.
Yeah. It can be like a really scary. I was really scared when I left. And, I got myself a workshop and I kind of set myself up and I was like, right now I've actually got to do this.
Wait, Jesse, so you got a workshop before you got further work experience?
Yeah. I decided.
That's bold. That's brave.
I actually got it in my.
Though. It's not uncommon.
Yeah. I kind of used it as it wasn't going to be something that I was going to make money from in the years that I was training, but I really wanted to take the skills that I was learning in the week and then apply it to something else. So I didn't want to just do my like 6 hours a week.
Right.
I wanted to be able to take that away and try and apply it. And if I had any questions about a particular piece of furniture, I could go and ask my teacher.
Yeah.
So, I got a workshop in Seven Sisters with another upholsterer, Electra. Shout out to Electra as well.
I've heard of Electra. Shouts out to Electra.
She's amazing, and
it's been a while.
She's done like these amazing pieces of furniture with like leather tassels, and she had like the old school kind of like crow feet balls, but she did it with like horse feet, and she's done like some really cool.
She's carved hooves.
She's carved hooves. Well, not her
That's cool.
specifically,
Yeah.
but I think she
Yeah.
got these like legs made. So I learned from her that it can also be like an art form,
Yeah,
you know, not just something that you sit on. So I was really lucky to have her at that point because I was studying and I'd be like, oh yeah, I'm studying. And she was like, no, you're an upholsterer. It's in your heart. Like you have to commit to that. And I was like, okay, I'm an upholsterer. I'll just keep saying that until it becomes true.
Yeah.
So
Interesting.
yeah, I was like, I just have to commit to it. So yeah, then finished all of my studying. Also did upholstery skills center for my final year.
Oh, Paul Marsh.
Yeah.
Paul Marsh.
Him and the previous president of the AMUSF.
That's it. Yeah. So I learned from them as well.
Wow.
So I went to like 3 different schools, learning from very different, you know, very different tradespeople. Matt, my teacher at London Met, he was obviously like 6th generation upholsterer. Matthew Gates, yeah. His mum, Dorothy Gates, was obviously one of the first women
I've got
in
one
upholstery.
Of her books.
Yeah. I guess most people have got a Dorothy Gates book in their studio somewhere. So, and then obviously Louise, who had also come from, I think she studied with Wendy, didn't she?
Wendy Shorter.
Yeah.
I seem to shout out Wendy every podcast.
You can't do it again.
I can't do it again.
You've had enough, Wendy.
I've just done it. Hi, Wendy.
So I feel like, you know, some key
that's
players
a broad range,
in the upholstery game, I guess. I've had some knowledge from, and I feel very, very grateful and very privileged.
And who was the best?
Wow.
That's a leading question.
I know, but it's, you know, dish the dirt.
They were all good for different reasons.
Yeah.
Like,
Brilliant answer.
It's true. Like, Louise's attention to detail was something that I'm super grateful for. She never made me miss. If I did something, I'm going to put inverted commas wrong.
Yeah.
She would always ask me to try again and improve my skills. And that notion of like realizing that I don't have to just stick with what I've done.
Yeah.
And I can undo it and improve it.
Yeah.
Change my mentality on my work.
Yeah.
Matthew's relaxed approach to upholstery, because it comes so naturally to him, made me realize that I need to kind of like tap into my instinctual side of problem solving and taking a calmness to the craft that I maybe didn't have before. And then the guys at Upholstery Skills Center actually taught me how to actually make money, you know, like how you can turn this into a business, ways that you can kind of do things in a quicker route, not a less quality route, but definitely a quicker route. And that kind of made me problem solve again in a different way, where I'm like, how can I refine this to get to where I need to be quicker? Because actually this game is about time, and that equals how much money you can earn, really.
Yes. If you're about
but some people,
money,
like Ray and I approach it very differently, and I wouldn't say Ray is as
be careful here.
No, what I'm saying is like I've learned over the last 3 years, because when we first met, I was like, Ray, you know, time yourself, time. I was always talking about time.
Yeah, Wendy would say that to me as well.
Yeah. But you've never taken that approach, because you are just like, it's done when it's done. Like, I'm not saying that's always a good thing for you.
I'm not sure I agree with that.
But you're certainly not like, I need to really, you know, get this down. You will move deadlines because it's not ready, and it doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, it's got to be right. And you're not so bothered by that. Like, you're not so driven by time
Well, you're
frames.
driven by the end product rather than by how quickly you get there. And
absolutely.
that is also in the back of every upholsterer's head. And there's also, you know.
Okay, fair enough. That's a lot.
Yeah. And I think that's like, I don't think you can be an upholsterer and not be a perfectionist in some capacity, because I can look at my piece of work and go, there is a stitch out of place there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm
Yeah.
so frustrated by it.
Mhm.
But I've had to learn to look at the bigger picture.
Yeah.
You know, I've had to be like, okay, that might be tiny bit wrong in my head, but the whole thing is good. And I need to remember that this is a handmade product and I am improving every single time I do something.
Yeah.
Like a piece I do today is going to be 100 times better than it was
Yeah.
a year ago.
Yeah.
And I'm constantly improving. So it's like, yeah, the quality, I never want to miss out on the quality of my work, but I do, there is, you have to let some things go.
Yeah. There's a point.
There is a point.
Yeah.
I know it is hard.
No, it's really refreshing to hear that.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
do just have to let some things go.
You do.
Yeah.
And that,
because-
I think, like, when you first come into the craft as well, like, that's this really, really scary thing. Like, you don't know that at the beginning, and you are killing yourself trying to get something
perfect.
like maybe going over it way too many
Or
times.
good enough that you feel is good enough for the customer at the other end.
Yeah.
That's probably why I hold back sometimes with, if it's not right, if I don't feel comfortable with it going out the studio, I can't imagine in my mind how the end person receiving it will feel comfortable.
Yeah.
Even if they're not as observant as I am, I just like, I have to, if I feel really kind of, if I can let it go, if I can let it go at my end, then they can receive it. If I can't let it go, I can't let it go.
Yeah, that's the same with me. And that's my benchmark.
Yeah.
My benchmark is if I'm walking into a customer's house and I'm nervous about it, then I know I could have done more.
Yeah.
And that's where my benchmark is now. So I have to go in, because the one question that I hate being asked this question by a customer, but it seems to be the one question that they always ask, are you happy with it? And I'm like,
they ask you.
Yeah,
I know.
I feel like everyone asks that, and I'm like, that is such a leading question.
I usually say, like, I'm never happy with anything I've put out. And that kind of leaves them either feeling like, oh God, this is terrible, or they'll think, oh, he really does care about his work.
Yeah.
You know? Which means I've
don't know. Don't
hired the right person.
Don't you think that's going to start making them look for things?
I don't know. I think there comes a point where you have to, like, you're right. You have to let it go.
You have to, yeah.
I don't know.
And like, I don't think about those pieces anymore. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, but in the moment, it can feel quite heavy, and it's that creative process with upholstery that can feel quite like weighing down on you sometimes because.
And also, like, you know, I don't think that we should be sugarcoat it, because things do sometimes come back. They do sometimes come back. Things do sometimes go wrong in business.
Yeah, they do.
And you've got to learn how to cope with that as well as an upholsterer, because it's crushing. It's like soul destroying, isn't it?
Truly is. And I think I've only had a couple of things come back and they've been totally valid. And sometimes it's not your fault. Like sometimes the fabric's failed.
Yeah.
And there's absolutely nothing you can do about that. And sometimes, you know, it can be, I don't know, maybe I haven't tied off a stitch properly and it started to come off. Like,
I once did this job. I mean, like, I once did this job that was really
heart palpitations.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I
That's
once.
where
I'm not
that's
sure
happened.
I've talked about this one, but I might have talked about it. But I did this job for an Airbnb, and it really was just a sofa fix. And I hate doing sofa fix, but at the time I was a bit desperate for money. But really, I really hate doing those because they are just manufactured pieces, and you're actually fixing something that wasn't done very well in the first place.
Yeah.
But I had to put in some serpentine springs, and I didn't realise with the serpentine string that you actually had to bend the bit at the top in order for it not to pop out. So I'd cut them all off, and it was quite hard to cut them because they are actually really hard to cut. Serpentine.
Good pair of bolt
Yeah,
cutters.
I got my bolt cutters, put them all in. I was really happy. I put some new platform cloth underneath because obviously you had to take out quite a bit of the
Wait, did you lash the serpentine?
Yeah, I lashed it.
Oh,
It was
sorry,
all
I'm not
looking
testing.
great.
I am
A
a bit.
week later, I get a call from the Airbnb owner, and she is furious at me.
no,
Because I mean,
spring's gone up
it's not
someone's
yet.
tongue.
She's her first guests have come in. They've sat on the seat, and all the springs have come out. I was absolutely like panicking. I didn't know what to do, so I phoned.
I don't think you've ever told this story before.
I don't know. I don't.
It's a good one.
It's all right. I mean,
It's a good one.
it's awful, you know. So I phoned this upholsterer that I know, who is really, really lovely, local guy, JV Upholstery. And he was like, right, what you've done is you've not done this. He's been like 40 years in the trade. He was like, you've not done this. I will come with my van and we'll go and do it together.
Bless him.
I know. And he just did it completely like free, don't charge me anything for it. I was trying to give him money. He was like, no, don't worry about it. I will come and show you how to do it. And he was showing me that how you had to, it's actually not, it's not actually that easy to do.
Which is why I refused.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it was all fixed and everything was fine in the end. But obviously, that's costing money.
That panic.
It is like,
that
oh
panic.
my
and
God.
then it's the over apologizing. And actually, the thing that I've tried to do, which has been so hard for me, is to not over apologize because we're so.
I'm the same.
It's hard though, and I've just like if there's been any criticism, I just go, cool, I'll sort it out, no worries. But I feel like I'm not going to apologize anymore if things go wrong, because that's just life. And stuff goes wrong, and it's all fixable.
It's all fixable, and you have to come up with a way when you run a business. You have to come up with a way of making it good within yourself as well. So you're like, this is a problem, but I'm going to solve it.
Sit on this.
Ray, I've got a confession to make. I once dated a tool.
Now, are we talking heartbreak or hardware?
Staple gun, my BEA. Honestly, it's been more reliable than most people I've ever worked with.
Oh, totally. Mine's taking a beating over the years. Still fires like day one. No jams, no weird noises, just solid work.
I use 71 Series 421 staple gun most days. But I've also got the long nose 436 for those awkward bits. You just know it's going to deliver clean staples every time.
And it doesn't wear arm out either, especially when you're working on a big frame or doing repeat jobs.
Powerful, reliable, and never goes to me mid-project. Legendary and dependable.
Bit like me, really.
Only difference is my BEA doesn't moan when I drop it.
Are we still talking about tools here? I've got feelings,
So if you're tired of unreliable tools and dodgy knockoff staple guns and want to upgrade your kit, now's the time.
Head to the link in the show notes and you'll get 10% off your first purchase on guns and staples using the code SITONTHIS10.
BEA staple guns. Powerful, precise, and honestly a lot easier to live with than some of the tools I've known.
Staple smart, sit on that. I love
particularly
the
with
fact
the
that,
clients.
I've heard an old saying, we shape the things we build, thereafter they shape us. And then as you're talking, like, I'm thinking and I'm wondering how the practice of upholstery has shaped your thinking outside of the craft.
It's a really good question, actually, and it has, like, the craft has because it's, again, like, you're so dictated to by the piece that comes to you, right? Like anything in life, you don't know what's going to get thrown at you, and you don't know what problems you're going to have to solve in those moments. So it's definitely taught me patience for something that is out of my control. I've just had to learn how to, like, take a deep breath and not try and skip ahead to the solution. Sometimes the solution will come to you.
It'll present itself.
Will present itself. And my girlfriend actually says she always loves the way I work, because I will have a piece of furniture come in and I'll just stare at it for 3 days.
Sorry, I'm not laughing at you. I'm sharing that. That's me, totally. So why haven't you got... I'm just sitting there like, staring at a piece.
Yeah, I'm just looking at it.
Just in your mind, just like deconstructing it or reconstructing it. Sorry, carry on.
Yeah, no, but that's that's exactly how I do it. So I'll look at it before I take anything off, and it will be in the back of my head for the next 3 days. And I'll just... If I look at that piece before I've even taken apart, how would I make it? Therefore, when I do start to deconstruct it, I've already got this base of knowledge where I've already kind of done the piece in my head. So anything that is a surprise in there, it's a note. And I can be like, I wasn't expecting this. How can I then do it, So that's kind of, I can't remember what the question was now.
Well, we shape the things we build, thereafter they shape us. So how has the practice informed your look on life outside of the craft?
I think it's definitely made me, like, be more patient and try and understand a whole situation before reacting. And that's something everyone in their 20s isn't great at that, are they? So I think that for me has been like the biggest thing that upholstery's taught me. It's just like, take a minute. You don't have to react straight away. You can take your time and then, you know, proceed when it feels right.
Yeah. That's what I like about teaching. Actually, it's a very slow process. You know, you're not having to rush anything. So if you take something apart, it's like you've got a whole week to think until the next time they're in class.
And also with teaching as well, like it's one of my favorite things to do, because that also shapes how you kind of communicate with people.
Yeah.
Like everyone's got a different way of learning and everyone's got a different way of understanding. And it's like, how can I make this student understand my perspective, but with like different language or showing them a different way? And it's like
what you said earlier about Louise and how she was very gentle and said, okay, how can you improve on that? And how can you learn from that? In the last podcast, when we were talking to Leanne, I was saying to her that, you know,
Shout out to Leanne. Sorry.
I have a lot of students who really find it really hard work to redo something. Like they almost feel like failure if they're redoing something. So I think that's a whole process that you have to learn as a teacher, is how to let people down gently and not be very critical, like you've done that completely wrong, get it apart now. You know, it's like
and it always comes back to past experiences, right? So I like always trying to say, well, here's a time when I had to redo something. And you know, my biggest thing when I'm teaching people is like, I still undo stuff now.
I say that all the time to my students. I also refer to Ray as well. Ray and me, you know, Ray and I are constantly having to undo stuff, because we're always undoing stuff, and we're talking about, I mean, that's a great thing about being in a partnership with someone as well. So I'm, you know, have you seen this? Have you seen this before? You know, I know what it is.
It's all right. We read a little bit about you in prior to coming up here. And before the upholstery, you did some sort of producing work. Is that correct? Could you tell us a bit about that?
I've had a very colourful career. I studied at University of the Arts London at the LCC College, and I did magazine publishing. And it was a very practical degree. I kind of wanted a degree that I didn't have to do any exams because I'm dyslexic and they really stress me out.
We found in our journeys doing the podcast, quite a few of upholsterers exhibit that sense of neurodivergency. Is that correct to say?
I think a lot of creative people
I don't even
in
know
general.
if it's neurodivergent. I just think
dyslexia.
Yeah, I don't
I'm not
feel
sure.
from the way it doesn't feel like a.
I've also got ADHD, if that helps. It's all lumped in there somewhere.
Well, you wouldn't be the first. So.
You wouldn't,
We've all got it.
I think we've all got that. But anyway, you were at LCC.
I was at LCC, and you know, I learned like the very practical side of making magazines, like from the digital, but also to like letterpresses. And then I finished uni, and I got a few like internships at magazines. Realized I didn't actually like the industry that much.
What didn't you like about it?
Well, it was so money driven that I felt like the actual craft of what I thought magazines should be was kind of being lost.
Right.
And now that's kind of gone the other way. Like we are seeing magazines be more of something like, you know, almost like a book that you can have, and they you know,
a beautiful object in and of itself.
But you know, this was like in the you know 2000s, and that's when like OK and Glamour and Grazia were like at the height, and that's where I was getting all my like internships, and I was like, I don't really want to be designing for these kinds of magazines. And then I money was an issue, so then I got into like B2B publishing.
Sorry, what's business to business?
Business to business,
okay,
yeah.
Right.
So I did like an education magazine for a bit, and then I did a sports business publication, and it was all like gathering skills. You know, I kind of got a lot of marketing knowledge. I got a lot of like, you know, even if this isn't something that I'm interested in,
sure.
How can I make other people interested? Like as someone who's not interested in it, how can I make myself excited about this? So I learned a lot about that. And then I kind of gave it all up to become a PA to a drag queen. And I did that.
Which drag queen?
I won't mention their name.
Well, okay.
So
Are they a famous drag queen?
no, they're not a drag queen anymore.
That narrows it down.
You might be able to find them out. If you know my history, you can find it out.
Okay.
And I did a lot of work with them. And then I kind of got into like theatre producing. I produced a show for my girlfriend at the time. I went on tour with like subsidized theatre shows. And I learned a lot from them in terms of like how to present yourself to people and, you know, how to kind of pitch ideas to get people in on your idea, you know. So I learned a lot from them. And then I ran a theatre for a while at Harlow. So I started in the like commercial and development marketing kind of bit. And then the artistic director left and I became the programmer and artistic director for the theatre. And then Dreamland in Margate were looking for an events producer. And I bought a theatre show to the Tom Thumb in Margate. And I fell in love with Margate. So I put in a speculative CV to Dreamland, and it's when they were still building Dreamland at the time.
Correct me, please.
Yeah.
I know I'm going to be wrong.
No.
But does Banksy have anything to do with Dreamland? Was that like a...
No, Banksy didn't have anything to do with Dreamland at the time. Banksy has done something in Margate on the side of a house. Right. And then they took the side of the house off and put it in Dreamland.
Right. That's why.
So there is a Banksy link. There is a link, but that didn't happen that long ago, actually. No. But yeah, so then kind of got approached by Dreamland. They'd been kind of following my career a little bit in the subsidized theatre kind of realm. And they wanted me to take on basically everything that was like non-music in the park. So it was like on park entertainment. I did like a variety show. We did like a block party for teenagers where Big Nasty came and performed and stuff like that. So I was kind of like curating like little bubbles of communities within Margate and Dreamland. And then I ended up hating it for lots of different reasons. None that I'll go into. But I decided it was my final year of doing upholstery training. And I just decided in my final year to get a workshop because it was cheaper here and just give upholstery a go. And so I set up my business and I just started making for people. I was really fortunate to meet quite a few wonderful creatives in Margate through Dreamland.
Did you do anything for like the theatre with upholstery? Because that obviously we've had talked to people about kind of film and theatre.
Yeah,
film and TV.
I've done bits.
Shouts out Drapes of Wrath.
I've done bits, you know. Actually, when I left my theatre in Harlow, the new artistic director there asked me to make some like giant Santa seats for them.
Yeah.
So I did that and they're huge actually. Yeah. So it kind of, there is a crossover.
Yeah, I'm surprised that in a way you didn't go with the upholstery down that route, given that you've worked in theatre and things like that.
I've done a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I've done so many different, I've done like TV stuff, I've done film stuff.
Yeah, you want to tell us a bit about your TV work. What's it like? What was it like doing the Interior Design Masters?
It was total chaos.
And just be honest.
It was total chaos, but in like such a beautiful way. I absolutely loved it. It was hard.
Why was it chaotic? Is that from the producer's side? They're not structuring it properly?
No, they've structured it perfectly. Okay. And there's actually nothing. It's reality TV at the end of the day, isn't it? There are elements where they are trying to create a bit of chaos.
Yeah.
How soon after you got your workshop was the interior design?
That was
it before?
Quite a while. That was like 5 years.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, right. So you've been practicing about 5 years when you did the show?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'd kind of honed my craft and I was earning. I had a shop on North Down Road. I just opened the the gay bar on North Down Road as well.
Oh, you're like a force of nature.
I
Fingers and
think it
pies.
is just the ADHD, to be honest. There is no stopping. If I get an idea, I'm like, let me go and do that.
So you'd been doing upholstery 5
Yeah,
years, then you decided to apply for
I want to know a bit more about the interior design.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. So then
Yeah,
you
sorry,
decided to apply for the interior design masters.
So, I mean, Interior Design Masters has always been in my... It was my favourite show.
Did
I
they
loved
approach
it.
you or?
No, they didn't. So, well, yes, they did, and no, they didn't. But there's a reason that I'll get to. So, basically, it was my favourite show. I loved it. I loved it even before it was called Interior Design Masters. Not that I can remember what it was called now. I think it was like the Great British something. And I went to apply for it 3 years previously, and I'd written my application. I just never pressed send. And I think what happens is they kind of, it is kept in a portal. And basically the year I went, I was like, do you know what? I'm not even going to pretend I'm going to apply this year. Like, I'm just not going to do that. And then I got an email from the casting director to my business email being like, we're looking for contestants. Do any of your upholstery students want to apply? And I just wrote back and said, well, screw the students, I'm doing it. So I decided to do it.
Yeah.
I was like, there's a reason.
Yeah.
So I'm going to apply for it.
Yeah.
Also, not screw the students. I did pass it on, but I was like, this is a sign to do it.
Yeah.
And I just set up the gay bar. Things were going really well. And I was thinking, this kind of feels like the right time for me. I've done like a big interior designer job. Yes, it's mine. And I didn't have a specific client except myself and the whole gay community. But I was like, I feel ready now. So I applied, and the process of the application is actually quite grueling.
Oh yeah. What do they do then?
So you
screen test, no?
It's not quite a screen test, but you do an interview. Well, they make you do a brief, 2 briefs.
Yeah.
So like, here's a restaurant, what would you do with it?
Oh wow. Right.
And we had to do 2 of those.
Yeah.
Then I had to go into London for an interview with the producers, one of the BBC and one of the like production company, and 2 of the people who actually run the show. And then what was after that? Oh, I had to have a psych
evaluation.
A psych evaluation.
That's where I'd fall down.
I was actually really worried.
I would like fall apart in that situation. I didn't know I would.
I was so panicked.
I would.
You'd be fine.
It's just like, it's that weird like thing of like, you know, they were asking me questions. I was like, I don't know if I'm answering this right. Am I going to get through? But I think it's just like a panic that you have, don't you?
Yeah.
So yeah, I got through all of that, and then they asked me to go on the show, and then 3 weeks later we were filming.
Is Design Masters, is that every single day, like all day, every day?
So
Or how does it work with the filming?
The way the show is set up is they plan for 16 weeks filming. And I say 16 weeks filming. You're 1 week filming, then you have a break of a week where you're then designing for the next week and getting everything that you need for the filming for the next week.
Yeah.
So if you're in the competition, it's really full on. Like Roisin and Matt, who were in the final, they had, I mean, there were shells of humans by the end. I got asked back to the final to help Roisin.
Yeah.
And I can see why they do that, because the final, challenge is so intense, and they have just gone through
under a lot of pressure.
So much pressure. Having someone there to just even bounce an idea off of, even if they don't need it, just feels like they've got a support system of someone who's kind of gone through the process with them. So yeah, it's really full on. And I was working as well as doing the show. A lot of people quit their jobs to do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was I was in the middle of doing a hotel job. I was upholstering 20 ceilings
Oh my God.
for a hotel at the time. Yeah.
Like drapery.
It was
Or-
tight. It's tight.
Oh,
So
like all fabric walling.
fabric
Oh.
walling, but on the ceiling.
Oh my
And I
God.
was it's for a hotel in Margate, number 42. You should go and check out the interiors. They're
I
gorgeous.
think we will after this.
I heard the ceilings are amazing. So yeah, I was doing that in my weeks off and trying to design for the next week. So it was quite grueling.
Yeah.
By the end of it, I was glad I got
Were you
kicked
getting
off.
much sleep? Oh my God.
No, I was really glad I got kicked out.
Yeah.
Because I was so exhausted.
Yeah.
And it took me about a month to recover.
Wow.
Oh.
Yeah, because I was just totally, it's quite an overwhelming experience
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah.
You know,
And also, I imagine like you, like being under a microscope, you know, really, aren't you? Because
I
you're
don't
like, oh my
think I
God.
fully like appreciated that, you
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
until the show was coming out and they were like giving you the stats of like 2.5 million people watch this. And I was like,
Whoa.
Yeah.
2.5 million people
Yeah.
are going to see my face.
Yeah.
I was like, I wasn't quite prepared for what that would do to my
Yeah.
psyche,
Yeah,
really, in like a positive way,
Yeah.
actually. But it was just a weird thing, like all eyes on you for, you know,
Yeah.
however long you're in the show.
Yeah. And the work as well. I mean, not so much your work, but I know that people criticize the upholstery on there very regularly, don't they?
And, you know, I
Because
got
people are just
criticised
literally
too.
like slamming with a stable gun.
I got criticized too. And like the only thing I would say about that is, you know, your resources are limited. So you're trying to do something that you would normally do when you've got loads of money and resources
Time.
and
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
But you're doing it in such a limited space. So all I would say is if you ever watch the program again, give those people a break because they are doing their absolute best with very, very little.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Do you think something about the structure of the show?
Oh, it's
Could be-
totally it's made to not make you fail, but to test you.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, it is funny when things fall down and it is funny when you haven't got enough paint and it is funny. Like there are elements to, everyone says, oh, I wish they would make the budgets bigger. But there is something about squeezing a budget that makes people more creative in what they have to do and actually not just buying the most expensive thing. Because that's easy. It's like, how can we test people's creativity? And I think it does do that really well, but it is stressful for the person doing it.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's why I would have a mental breakdown on a show like that. I literally would. I just know. I know what I'm like in like, you know, trying to cope with the kids and the business.
There was
and
a lot
everything.
of tears.
Yeah.
You know, I think by the end of like filming on day 2 or 3, everyone's exhausted.
Yeah.
And, you know, it was tough and it means a lot to people, you know, and it meant a lot to me. So when I got kicked out, there was a relief, but I was sad because I felt like I didn't get to show anymore. So when Roisin asked me back, I was just so delighted that she asked me back because it meant I could flex a bit more of what I wanted to do.
Sure.
So yeah.
Do you think, so you were already kind of doing interiors before then? So upholstery and interiors that you're developing both of those, are you, with your business?
And that's kind of why I moved studio. So I had the shop and for various life reasons, I decided to break away from the shop and my partnership there and start on my own again. And going back to those things about having a bit more creativity. But I also kind of wanted to test myself more in the interior design road, you know, and not having those pressures of bills and being able to focus on interior design projects.
Do you think of yourself as an upholsterer who does interior design or an interior designer who upholsters?
I'm really...
Or neither?
Yeah, I don't know how to... When someone says to me, what do you do? I say I'm an upholsterer by trade that does interior design. So when I'm speaking to clients and I'm talking about interior design, I guess my USP is that I know how stuff is made. So I know like if we're doing a big interior design project, I know how to talk to the tradies and I know how things are made. And sometimes I think on the interior design side of stuff, interior designers maybe not all of them, please don't eat me alive for this, will have will have grand ideas, but not necessarily know how it's made.
To execute it, yeah.
So I've got like that quite nice mix of being able to do the interior side as well as knowing how to make stuff. So yeah, it feels like a nice natural progression for me. Also, it means I can price myself into a job. You need this beautiful headboard from me. You know,
everything needs to be upholstered in this room.
Oh my God. You need walls, ceilings, and pelmets all upholstered. But yeah, no, joking aside, it's helpful.
Yeah.
And it's helpful for the client to know what's possible.
Yeah.
Because often they don't know. I'm actually doing a B&B in Margate, 6-bed, like 2 communal rooms. And it's been really fun knowing what their budgets are and knowing kind of what they want and then being able to tailor it to exactly what they need. You know, they wanted really fun headboards because that's kind of what I'm known for in lots of ways. That's kind of why they got me on the job. So yeah, it's kind of worked out really well.
I think that's what happens, isn't it, with interior design? So people start to understand your style. You know, you'll be known for your bright colours and things like that.
I loved your sense of style and colour here.
I think that's
awesome.
Yeah.
Appreciate that. Yeah, it's fun. And, you know, I'm still finding my style too. And I think that's the exciting thing about interiors in general. They kind of grow with you as you become like, I guess, I don't know, anything that happens in your life can influence your interiors. And I think that's really like lovely.
I think though that's the distinction between working on the bench as an upholsterer and doing interiors, because you get a lot more creative freedom if someone knows your style and they're choosing you for your style. So you're actually being allowed to be creative. But a lot of the time, upholsterers can't really do that because they are restricted by the taste of their client. Their taste might be godforsaken awful. You're going to use this like damask, horrible, you know, old granny type fabric on something, but you have to do it because you know, it needs must. You know.
Yeah, and that's the exciting thing about also being an upholsterer is also, you know, one of the things that I love about going into someone's home and getting to know who they are is like trying to see where I can maybe push it slightly and being like showing them different fabrics that maybe they hadn't thought of and being like, what about this? And seeing how far I can push it with them. And that to me is also like an exciting part of it.
Yeah.
And that's the same with interiors really. Like with this B&B that I'm doing, you know, they had this strong vision in their head of what they wanted in terms of like the House of Hackney floral element, which I can do. But in my consultation process with them, I was showing them lots of images and they never picked the one with the floral, which I thought was really interesting.
Oh, yeah.
So the images that I'd shown them, they were picking the ones that were more about the shapes than the fabrics. So then when I presented them with my first initial idea, they were like, oh, there's no florals. And we really like it. And I guess that's your job, isn't it? Is to kind of actually dissect what they want. And pushing what they think it is that they might want and then kind of showing them a different option. So yeah.
And that's the art of persuasion as well, I guess, what you learned when you were working in theatre.
Yeah, I guess like it's maybe...
and confidence. Is it confidence in your own style and taste?
Sit on this.
Hey, it's a massive roll you're hugging.
This, fresh Hessian, just arrived from Martin's Upholstery Supplies. And yes, I'm emotionally attached.
Well, that explains the grin. You do love a bit of 12 ounce.
Hey, don't knock it. It's the unsung hero. Holds my springs in place, neatens up my work, and smells like proper upholstery. I love the smell of 12 ounce in the morning.
Yeah, I actually ordered from Martin's last week. Foam, webbing, a few finishing bits. It all turned up in 2 days. No faff.
That's what I love. Whether you need a tin of glue or 10 metres of calico, it's all there. And it's all brilliant quality.
It's definitely my go-to for top-ups, especially when I realise I've run out of something mid-project.
Yeah, which is about every week.
Exactly. Martin saves me from full-blown panic attacks more times than I'd like to admit.
If you're setting up a workshop or just need the basics, Martin's has the lot. And as a special treat for our listeners, they're offering 5% discount on all foam and upholstery sundry orders. Just check the link in the show notes below and use the code SITONTHISMartins5 for your discount.
Martin's upholstery supplies. Solid, speedy, and always got your back.
Sit on that.
I think it's interesting, isn't it? Because I think interior designers could go down the road where they are panning to whatever the client wants. So you can, I mean, I don't know because I don't work in interiors, but I think it can kind of stray you to the point where you're not really you're not invested in something because you're not actually doing something that you enjoy or like because they are so opinionated about something. So it takes quite a clever person to be able to turn something around, make them see something different.
Do you think that we have to tie social media into what you do? I mean, looking back at your social media, it's pretty cool. It's pretty amazing.
Well, my girlfriend works in musical theatre and she's in Cats at the moment.
Wow, in the West End?
Not in the West End. She's on tour. So we went to China for 4 months and then...
Whoa, there's so much to talk about. You've been to China as well?
Yeah, we were there for 4 months, yeah.
How long ago?
Literally
just
6 months ago.
Yeah.
6 months ago.
Yeah. I saw that on you'd sort of stop your social media, but you didn't really say where you were or anything. Then
it was kind of like I'd gone through like a breakup. I was leaving the business, and I'd started a new relationship with my partner now, and we'd moved in together, and then like very quickly, it all happened very quickly, and we'd only been together for a month. And she got an audition for Cats and she got it. And she was like, I'm moving to China for 4 months.
Oh my God.
And I was like, I'm going to come with you. So I basically had everything paid for 4 months. I'd managed to sort that out, had a few jobs. And I was like, I'm just going to go away for 4 months and re-figure out what it is I want to do. And it was actually perfect timing for me. It meant that I could kind of reevaluate, kind of center myself a little bit better because, the noise in life can kind of get in the way.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it can kind of distract you in thinking about what your path should be. So, yeah, I was in China for 4 months. And
whereabouts in China? Because it's a big place.
All over. Like, we started in Shenzhen, we went to Tianjin, Xi'an, Hangzhou.
How's your Mandarin?
Terrible.
It's got to be better than mine.
No, honestly, I can't remember anything now. But it's amazing now with technology. I mean, we could just show our phones and be like, help. But China's not what I expected at all. And it was never a country that I was particularly interested in going to. But I'm so glad that I got the opportunity to spend so much time there. The people are so kind and the culture is amazing. I've never felt safer in my entire life. It's got its downsides like any country has, but I think...
Do you consider it more advanced as socially than the UK?
Socially, I wouldn't say so. Technology-wise, I would say they're in a different league.
10 years maybe ahead.
I mean, I was in my hotel room. I ordered a coffee. 5 minutes later, a robot's brought it to my door.
This is coming. This is coming.
It's incredible. They had skyscrapers with drones the size of this room with hoses on them cleaning the windows. Honestly insane. It's like there was
Blade Runner.
It's like there was so much happening in that country. I was like, they are so advanced. The thing that I struggled with there is how little time people had for themselves. I met up with a few suppliers in China as well, and we went for dinner. I mean, our broken Chinese and English together was made for an interesting conversation. But what we did cobble together was, they're very envious of how much time we get to spend with family and do things together and have a home life, whereas their whole life has been built to work,
to serve and
work. So, food's so cheap out there because literally the food outlets are feeding the country people barely ever eat at home. So, you know, you can get like a whole set of dumplings, like 30 dumplings, and it costs you like £1.20. So we had amazing food, saw some amazing places, and like, yeah, it was just the best thing for me at the time. I loved it. And now my girlfriend's doing the European tour. So I've gone to meet her in all the countries she's been at.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So I was just in Berlin, Munich. Then we're going to Lisbon and Portugal. So yeah, it's a different life. I mean, it's sad that we don't get to see each other every day, but like I get to go on holiday 10 times this year. So that's the way I've got to kind of reframe it.
It's more than a lot of upholsterers.
Yeah, exactly. And having that space, having my studio at home gives me that flexibility because I'm not having to pay for a big workshop.
Yeah. It's a nice position to be in.
It is, and I'm very, very privileged, and I know that. And you know, it's not everyone's ideal setup either. Not many people like to work at home, but for me, being able to have a nap in the afternoon if I want to is ideal. Like,
and be very selective about who you invite around.
Exactly. Yeah. So.
I know it's not much of a segue, but I'm going to do it anyway.
Do it.
I love your social media content. Do you do it all yourself?
No.
So what's the secret then? I mean, for a lot of people, myself included, I've got to, being on the bench, producing the work that we do, and then having to like produce the content and then come out on social media. It's like a second job. How do you is it just an energy thing? Is it, how do you manage to?
I'm very, very
lucky.
So well? One of my really dear friends, Elizabeth, is a whiz. And she totally gets what I'm trying to achieve with my social media. Right. So we work together. So because I don't have a workshop anymore, I can pay for her to come spend time with me in the workshop. And I find that much more natural. It's like teaching her how to do something. And that then translates as teaching the internet as a whole how to do something. Rather than me just having a camera and being like, do this. It doesn't feel natural to me.
No.
I much prefer a conversation-led kind of style of content.
Which is why we really appreciate you agreeing to do this with us today.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, social media is a funny one, right? And I often have people say to me, I need help with my social media. Like, tell me what to do. And I'm like, I can't tell you what to do because I don't do social media for anything other than another creative outlet. You know, for me, I don't see it as a burden. I see it as something that adds to my life and adds to what I do. So for me, it's not annoying. It's fun.
That actually, it's a good perspective. Maybe that's what we all need to do, because I just see it as like, oh shit, I've got to like go and record myself doing that, you know? You know, just like, and it's just like, oh God, it's another thing to do. So I wish I was more like that, where I'm seeing it more as, no, this is great. This is adding to.
And you don't tend to pay much attention to the comment section on your videos?
Well, you know, you're always going to get people telling you doing it wrong. And like I said, you know, there's so many different ways to do things. And, you know, I've kind of taken the approach as well with social media where I don't take it very seriously, because it's all made up, really. Like, it's such a weird world. And if people are always going to be horrible, but there's also like, to every horrible comment, there's 15 nice ones. So, I just like, I kind of try not to take any of it too seriously. And I think the thing that I really enjoy about it is that I'm not trying to, I've got nothing to prove. Like, I know that I'm good at my job. Yeah. I'm still getting work. I'm still getting recommended. Like, it doesn't really matter what you think of me. I'm just going to keep putting stuff out there that I think is going to help people and inspire them, because actually that's all you can do. I'm not.
Do you think that in terms of like where your business is heading, you're going to be doing interiors, you're going to be doing commissions, but also you're going to be doing content that is going to be helping people, so teaching people?
Yeah, that's always been the thing for me, especially within like the queer community and access to learning.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people online these days do like a paid for thing. And for me, this is something that I enjoy doing. It feels like I'm giving back to people that might not be able to afford to go to a class or do that. It feels like my little bit of something that I can like give back to people.
Yeah.
And you know, there's always going to be ways to make money, but that's not at the forefront of my mind at the moment.
No,
The thing that I do it for is I do it for me. I also do it because I want anyone who kind of knows me or wants something doing. It's like I'm the kind of the first person that comes to their head. You know, like that's why I do it too, because you have to tell people what you're doing in order for them to know. And
But
like
also you want to attract perhaps the right type of
the
customer.
right, exactly.
So if you've got
Totally.
like an identity or a style, if you will, then you're more likely to draw towards you the kind of people who appreciate that style and appreciate
it's
what you're
true.
doing.
It's true.
I put out what I want to receive.
Yeah.
And that's something that I've really noticed, you know, when I started doing like a bit more like queer-led content, I got approached by Mighty Hoopla, who's like it's the leading UK queer festival, and they asked me to do some stages for them. So it's like, you know, that's kind of like
You've got a team now, haven't you? Like a small group of people helping you
No.
produce all of this. This is all you.
this is all me. I do it all myself. I know.
No, that's
It's not right, is it?
Well,
You don't
I
get
mean-
much sleep. I don't think you get. I think you're on 2 hours. You're
I
like
thought I
Margaret
didn't get
Thatcher or
any
something.
sleep. I don't get any sleep, but crikey, that's energy.
I've got
commitment.
people. I've got so many people that I can draw on for certain expertise. Like my friend Eloise, they are such an amazing carpenter, and we do lots of work together. So you know, and Margate's full of creatives that if I'm like,
I love coming down.
Yeah,
to
I'm
Margate.
actually. We're going to go and have a little look around Margate
You
in a minute.
should.
Yeah.
Shouts out to is it the? Oh, I've
go on.
lost it now.
You can find it.
Paul Fairbank, right? The
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
And-
The he's like the rag and bone man.
Yes, yeah. I've actually did.
Shouts out to Paul Fairbank. I think he's brilliant.
He is brilliant. I actually did a little chair for his son.
I've worked with him on a chair
Yeah.
when he was
Oh, is it the Beetle one?
no you know who I'm talking about. 'Cause
Yeah.
I know the Beatle one you're talking.
Yeah.
But he was employed by who's that guy from Grand Designs? Kevin McLeod.
Oh yes, Kevin McLeod.
Kevin McLeod, shouts out to Kevin McLeod. Kevin McLeod Superstars Challenge. Paul brought me into a warehouse in Wembley.
Yeah.
And inside the warehouse there was like a Boeing 727.
Oh
That
wow.
was chopped up into pieces. And him and the small team that he had around were literally stripping the whole thing and changing parts of the aircraft for furniture and homewares, and then selling
he
it all
loves
for
doing stuff like that.
So he worked with me, and we both took the fuselage,
Yeah.
quarters out of the fuselage, which formed the arms of this armchair.
Yeah.
And I fused together two of the passenger seats, and then we recovered it in a butte fabric.
Oh,
butte wool.
amazing.
And then we used, the cargo netting.
Yeah.
We used that for a suspension
Oh, cool.
for the seat.
I love
it
that.
was just an extraordinary project. And then just after we did that, he moved down to Margate, and then I'd phone him up and had a little problem with like a swivel and rock mechanism on an egg chair. That was a Parker Knoll Statesman chair, I remember. Yeah, and then he picked me up from the beach or wherever it was, and then took me back to his workshop. And then shouts out to Paul. He's just amazing.
He is amazing. I actually gave him loads of scrap metal as well, because and he was very thankful for that, because he makes lots of like lamps out of like spanners and stuff like that. And I can't remember where I got all of this like truckload of spanners from, but I was like, do you want them? And he was like, thank you. Yeah.
So there's a growing community of, I was going to say DFLs, down from London people.
Yeah,
Sorry, is that
No, we are. That's what we've been for hundreds of years too. Yeah.
It's always been that way.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, no, it is. And there's lots of interiors people in Margate and surrounding areas actually. So very lucky to have such like a...
So what's in the future for you?
You know, I'm just going to let things come to me as they come. I can't plan too much because as soon as I plan, the plan falls apart and something always happens. So as long as I'm just going to take on projects that feel good and I'm just going to see where the wind takes me, really.
If you have any more opportunities to do like some reality TV and stuff, would you take them, do you think?
I would love to do some more TV, actually. I think there's not enough, people. Well, I don't think women or AFABs are represented much in craft.
Sorry, AFABs, what'd you say?
Assigned female at birth. So it's a lot of people use that.
Think of me as a dinosaur, like from a bygone era.
No, it's okay. And that's how you learn, right? It's when someone tells you. So, in the queer community, there's a lot of like AFABs that, maybe aren't we're not in front of the cameras a lot. And I think having that representation on TV is really important, because if I had seen myself looking back at me, then I think I would have felt really empowered by that. So
like it could be possible.
Yeah, and it hasn't, and it didn't feel possible. And I think when I was like the first like lesbian on Interior Design Masters, and that felt really good to me because it was that representation. Because in interior design, you're often think of gay men or like yummy mummies. Like that's kind of what
Chelsea Design Centre.
Exactly. It's very...
It is like that is Chelsea Design. Whenever I've been to photos, like, I'm going to cut this bit out.
No,
I don't think you should.
Keep it in.
But it's true.
It's like such posh women.
I'd just
like
love to be a
very, very
wall.
posh ladies who lunch doing their interiors.
And gay men. And like there's not really like a roughy-tufty lesbian with curly hair that looks like Brian May to show you.
You do like Brian May.
I do. So, there is that stereotype. And actually, I think that should be broken, because there are so many more people out there who can offer what interior design is. And you just got to find your audience, right? So, I would love to do more TV if possible. But TV's kind of dying now, isn't it? So, which is a shame.
Or maybe create your own channel.
Oh, yeah. YouTube is something that I kind of want to do more of as well. But again, it's finding the time. I'm kind of sticking to what I know now. And then if it kind of goes that way, it goes that way. So, yeah.
Brilliant. Well, thank you so much for inviting us.
Thank you for your amazing space.
Very cool space. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I didn't know what to expect, but this was great fun. So thank you for having me.
Yeah.
If people want to look up your work, how do they find you?
Instagram's probably the best place, and it's Jesse with just an E, and it's Du Preez Design. So you'll find it.
You've got a website.
I do have a website.
So what's that? What's
JessieDupreez.com.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah. This has been great.
Yeah.
Awesome. Ladies and gentlemen, and everyone in between, you've been listening to Jesse Du Preez, the lovely Vicky Grubb, and myself. And this has been the Sit on This podcast. If you like what we're doing, please like and subscribe our comments. And again, thank you for watching.